races going on earlier this day. If you haven't watched those, be sure to do that after this one. But now it is time for Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills, the last weekly in preparation for the tournament, which is going to start next week. And today we are going to be featuring the matchup of Clean versus Cheese here. I'm Samsus, joined by Tukel on commentary. How are you doing, Tukel?
I'm a bit tired. It's fairly late, but very excited for this last weekly we have to showcase here, and yeah, just very excited to see what our runners have. And if you want to join the All Skills tournament, be sure to yeah, get those signups in the next few days because they will be closed by the 25th. So be sure to have a time ready and get signed up. But with that, I do think we have about 1 minute left until our runners start. And yeah, we have two very experienced runners in Blind Forest. Cleanfel being the current randomizer champion, and Cheese having joined every single tournament we had in All Skills so far. So, two very experienced runners here.
Indeed. And speaking of the experience level here, she does have the BP advantage here, being on a sub 30 on the leaderboards, while Clean is still on a 32-14 at the moment. However, he has told us that every single run he has done that doesn't die in Death Gauntlet has been on PB pace afterwards for quite a while. So let's see how that is going to go here in this race today. Otherwise, let's maybe talk about what we want to see and how many energy drops are we going to see in Glades.
Well, personally, I'm just hoping for some clean play from both our runners, not only from Cleanfel. And I'm also not hoping to get any energy drops because they just slow you down. And yeah, that's not nice times for our runners. But of course, we will see. And one thing I want to see, because it's just always fun to see, is phasing shots through the ceiling.
Yeah, the good old frog magic. If we can get some frogs to play around with physics, or maybe not even shoot a shot through the floor, but the entire frog itself, that would be quite good to see. But yeah, let's see how it's going here and when we'll start.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Ori without some technical difficulties, but I'm sure we will get them resolved soon. And yeah, we will see. I think Cheese has been doing some de-rest lately, having come back to All Skills after quite a break, whereas Clean had a bit of an advantage there, I guess, with having played in the rando tournament and from there on just continued to play. And yeah, we will see how both runners do and how good their times are. Of course, they aren't the only runners. We have, I do believe, a total of 7 runners so far, and they are all competing. That is the word, in the same run. But we will be featuring those two and concentrating on them. Yeah, hopefully we'll get started soon.
Yeah, for those who are wondering why we're still here talking, yeah, Jill mentioned it. It wouldn't be Ori without technical difficulties, and right now there is a problem with Cleanfel's ISP not behaving the way it should. So, Clean having a bit of a problem getting his stream back up, and without stream, there's no restream, and without a restream, there would not be any commentary. So, we're just gonna be sitting here for a minute or 3 more until that all gets solved before we can then continue into more reaction. And for an update here, Clean does seem to be getting his stream back up, so hopefully we will be able to get this show going very soon.
Yeah, Clean has mentioned that he's currently not on his home setup because he is on spring break, so probably not quite too sure about the internet where he is and maybe not too comfortable with everything he's surrounded by right now. And getting internet issues resolved is just always a pain, so hopefully it will be done soon. And hopefully he won't have too much of a disadvantage with maybe not the mouse he's used to, or the keyboard, or just a PC you're not used to. We have some tricks that are kind of load dependent or FPS dependent, so hopefully they won't be a problem for Clean, but I'm sure he can adapt.
Indeed. All right, here. Let's maybe get a bit. Yeah, when you're talking about load dependence, we can make more bets here. How many total door warp attempts are we gonna see at the end between our two runners combined? Feel free to also put your bets down in chat right now. I think you got about 20 more minutes or so to bet on that, but if you can get them all in now within the next minute, you can be the first one to bet the correct amount. I'm gonna say we have a combined amount of two. Yep, two first tries is what I'm going with.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. We have two very competent runners, and yeah, maybe they'll both PB. Who knows?
Two PBs would indeed be very, very nice to see. So let's get one shot for Swarm entry, a single attempted Sorrow Bash, a single door warp, and first try tumble warps. That's the way how I wanna. Oh, wait, we're not doing this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Let's scratch the last part. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that. Maybe you get the chance to showcase it off eventually, but yeah, both runners are not gonna do the tumbleweed route, quite frankly, because it is banned, and also because I don't think either of our runners is too familiar with that. Um, yeah, and I think we will get started soon. It seems like all the issues have been resolved, so hopefully we'll get started. And yes, race time is counting down, so our runners should be good to go fairly soon. And let's see if they can both skip like 10 minutes of the run immediately.
Indeed, getting a prologue skip in will save 10 minutes immediately before we then can finally hop into Glades and get the first part of our run down. Both of our runners starting to raise up from the ground. And off we go to the left, hopping and jumping, then down towards the first platform and down towards a sign as we're used to seeing. Now, first stretch is probably going to be just as always. We get no poison water dip this time, so that's good. No nerfs here at the start, placing down the save. Let's see what Rhino strats we're getting. Are we gonna get some? Yep, we're gonna get some jumping into the wall here. And with that, we have in fact reached sign and can go pick that up.
Yeah, sign, of course, being our main weapon right here. We will just use sign throughout the entire run. Also prompts us with some dialogue, so our runners will make sure to have their UI turned off during all of that to shut sign up during the entire run. But now we will see possibly some scroll wheel action by attacking those Frunkies in a very specific pattern to get through as quickly as possible. Very well done by Cleanfel on the left side. Cheese needs to stop in some points on the right, but is through as well, and they can now continue throughout. Yeah, the bit place of hell that Glades can be sometimes with all the slimes trying to snipe you.
And we're in Glades. That means we're currently playing a game of seconds here. And so far, it has been clean winning seconds at the very start. And then she's kind of gaining seconds. And then the rethink giving Clean those seconds back. So Clean gonna be first one to pull the rock. Now let's see if we're gonna get any random health drops that are going to ruin our day for the upcoming ghost store here. Clean so far, damage boosting through the slime without any problem. Cheese having a bit of a different weird slime cycles, so has to actually kill it. Can't quite go for the damage boost. Also getting the ghost on man. But yeah, Clean will. Oh my god, that's a Frankie death. I was just happy to say that Clean has taken a bit of a lead here in the early game. That will take him all the way back to the ghost. So she's now about 2 seconds ahead at this fourth half cell here.
Yeah, that Frankie definitely had a chair and used it as well. She's now ahead, as you mentioned, going to pick up his first health fragment as well as Clean on the left. So time has been spent on that for both, so don't have to worry about that later. And can collect that keystone that we will not use in its vanilla keystone door, but rather keep for later, as we are rapidly approaching our first skill tree. We will collect 9 throughout the course of this run, as well as a feather, and we will try to get a very well timed level up. Looks like both runners will get that. Oh no, Clean got it. Unfortunately, at the wrong time, didn't quite destroy the brambles. Is wiggling his mouse, probably unhappy about his level management right there, because you can get a timed level up to just explode everything that you have in your way to get to the brambles as well. But with that, both runners at wall jump. You can see what wall jump does, pretty much what it says, and with that, we can go back out and to our next area in this run.
Yeah, Clean getting a bit unlucky there, picking up extra EXP from the drop slime. That when you do this EXP round and you're 1 XP away from level up, that extra drop slime EXP will sadly ruin your day. So Clean now has to kill everything here manually, while she's just got to blast away all the brambles and the slime at once with a very convenient level up, as we like to do in these races. Now with that, Cheese has a bit of a lead here, both from the death that Clean took, as well as that level up explosion kind of misfiring on Clean's side. So Cheese will be the first one to go to Blackroot Burrows here, where we started doing all our safe glitch shenanigans, as well as hoping we don't miss any of the cycles.
Yeah, and Save Anywhere being the first of the save shenanigans, we will open our menu, keep it open to move behind it, save while we trigger the cutscene, and since an ability saves the game, we have started the cutscene and can go through it without actually watching it, because if you quit to it while starting it, it counts as completed. So with that, we have the right timing on Cheese's side, and looks like Clean also got it. We have that bit of a slow zone, but with that we are into Blackwood, which is kind of the auto scroller section of the run, and we all know auto scrollers kind of suck in speed games, but it also means we have a bit of a breather before the stuff will get wild in this run. We will collect some more XP on the side of Cheese to set up for a level up here as well. We will collect a lot of ability points right here for later usage. Clean on the left, taking a little box stop to make sure that the platform is in the right position and he does indeed not drop into certain death. Now gets his level up as well. So really just have a bit of Blackwood Burrows between our runners, and that can definitely change in the later portions of the run, as Cheese is losing 8 seconds due to cycles.
Indeed. You said this is a bit of a breather time. Sure, that's the case when you're watching, but when you're running and need to make sure to even try to get those really fast cycles up here, you really do not have a lot of room for error on any of the movement. If you're just a bit too slow, well, platform cycles take 8 seconds and you can just barely make one right here after the lasers if you do everything perfectly. So, yeah, she's not gonna be too happy to wait. That was also some frantic mouse movements, but with some good manipulation here, gets the correct cycles in the orb room. Now, one kind of thing that's always interesting to see is what cutscene stack are the runners going to go for. We have so many different variations of this over the time. We have We have the double save. We have the double save with an extra jump, or we have the single save, kind of the more classic variant. And it looks like Cheese is opting to take the oldest variant here, waiting for the statue to rise, which will now restore the light on the reload. That means no dashed cutscene stack. We're gonna need to watch the spree and not do blind movement during this animation. But it also means it is a very safe strat, and there's not going to be an accidental drop into a gigantic pit of death, which then auto-saves and ruins your day. Now, Clean is opting for the Tritonite strat with an extra rekindle in the safe zone, which now gives us the classic rando cutscene stack. So that's going to save him quite a bit of time over Cheese. And when we say quite a bit, it is in the realm of seconds in this early game. So he can now get out of this as Cheese is setting up his Frankie Walk.
Yeah, and Frankie Walk, we lure that nice Frankie over to the door to glitch out 2 more energy than we would actually have by leveling up in the right time to have 2 more than we would have. And synchronized Frankie jumps very nice as Cheese is killing the Frankie, gets all 4 energy in, very well done, but the stuff isn't over yet. This is Death Gauntlet. Everything tries to kill you. Frankies try to stomp you. The Crushers try to crush you, so needs to be very careful. There will be an energy here with which he can save afterwards, so we will see how long that will take him. Because, yeah, still no safety save. There it is. Okay, got through as Clean also got his energy into the door, got even an energy drop, so can drop that safety save and is now at least through Frankie Walk, also on his way through Death Gauntlet, as Cheese didn't quite make the cycles.
Indeed, a bit off on the dash glide there. Does not get the grotto cycle. If Clean gets it, that is 8 seconds he's going to make up here. Meanwhile, G's got some extra time by going for Death Glide. That Crusher dash glide we saw earlier, that also saves a bit of time, but Clean gets vaulted over the edge, is also gonna lose his 8 seconds to the grotto cycles, and is giving us some nice mouse movement to tell us how much he appreciates waiting for Crushers to come down. Now Cheese on the right with blinded double jump movement has to take a bit care not to dip into poison. I'm sure Rin could tell you a lot about this before he now goes up into the wall jump, double jump section of this game. This is a section that looks very simple. We're just climbing up walls, but is probably one of, if not the most technical split in the game. All these walls having collision just the way they look, and getting those double jump boosts just the right way is anything but easy. Now, grotto skip. Cheese having a bit of trouble here getting the right wall position, sets up another time and gets it on this attempt. No baguette jump here for Cheese. Those extra grotto skip attempts are again something Clean can capitalize on if he gets it first try, but so far Cheese still good in the lead as he climbs up his way to Water Rain.
Yeah, and Clean is still on his toes and making up with a first try grotto skip. Very well done by him, so we'll save some seconds over Cheese, who now is at Gumo. We'll skip it with a rekindle skip, and can now obtain the water vein and go towards the Ginso tree, where we immediately will put it to use. So this is also a good split to show off these geometries of the walls, to make sure that you space your jumps and double jumps and everything just right to get through the fastest way possible. Gets a cutscene here, needs to activate the teleporter for later use after the Ginso tree, and Clean also now obtained his water vein. Is about 20 seconds behind his racing opponent here, as yeah, this is definitely still a very close race. We could have a lot of problems coming up, but for now, Cheese gets the level up as intended and is making his way to this ability cell that he will need for later. in general, we're just collecting resources for later. That is kind of what the early game is, and make sure to grab every tree on the way. We'll make sure to dash on the stone to get to the TP a bit faster. Very well done. Can now go through Ginso tree and start with the dungeon.
Indeed, both of our runners having a bit of trouble on Gandalf, so no time gained or lost there. Also, both taking the ability cell, if I saw this correctly. So now she's into the Ginso tree. Clean having to wait a bit on Crusher Cycles here, or Spinner Cycles, rather in the Swarm. Can't quite catch the first cycle there, which would hurt quite a bit. Also, gonna take care of the slime. Those are all seconds. Seconds matter a lot, especially in categories like these, which are not randomized, which means it is pure execution. Sometimes a bit of RNG, but not that much in the case of a run like this. Now, Cheese taking a dip into the spike pit. That means that's some extra damage he took, which will matter a lot for his later Ginso routing. Might take some extra health here, and also takes upper road, placing an extra save down as well. So now he's back on 3 HP, which is good because that's where you wanna be right here. So you can kind of reset your cycles if you're going for it. In this case, Cheese is opting to just push the rock, and that will mean that's some extra second. Clean could get on a better projectile cycle there if he wishes to. Not too bad, however. The Clean still holding up very well. He is on pace with PB as he has promised us on Ginso entry. So keeping pace as Keys is into the mini boss, and he has told us his scroll wheel broke, so he will probably not get in 5 double shots per cycle here on the mini boss. But the boss is gone, XP is absorbed, and with that we can head over on our way to the bash tree.
Yeah, we had relatively clean Ginsos from both our runners. Clean had indeed a bit of trouble in the first room, fell down all the way from the top, but has made his way up fairly surely after that. Cheese, of course, also had a small hiccup in the teleporter room, but with that, I think that has evened out. As Clean is also getting rid of this mini boss that is fairly slow, as Cheese gets another ghost door into some fast movement to the bash tree, and now has the most powerful skill in the run. Will allow us to do a lot of sequence breaks later on, but for now we need to get out of this very vertical tree. And the way we do it is just by getting to a teleporter and teleporting back to Moon Grotto. But first, we need to make our way clear out of these walls and everything. So he's making sure to actually use some double bashes to use the bash to go into the same direction as the projectile, as normally you are required to go into the opposite direction.
Indeed. And yeah, as you mentioned, absolutely beautiful hyperspeed save there on the Ghost Door from Cheese. Always love to see that catapults Ori just straight into the tree. Speaking of tree, Clean also got that, so we're both in the second half of Ginso right now. Also Clean opting to take an extra projectile here. Double bashes don't save time unless they get you an extra cycle somewhere. Remember, every bash that you use is at least 20 frames, no matter how quickly you wanna drop it, because the game just won't let you before. But yeah, no, let's see. She's kinda having a bit of trouble getting on the wall here. That's an extra second also. Lost Clean still on the key loop here, and now Cheese has dealt with the mini boss. Not quite gonna level up. Leveling up is going to happen once we leave the dungeon and are on our way to swamp entry. But for now, it is teleporting time. Let's see on the left if Clean gets a hyperspeed save down here. Was definitely going for it here. Did he get it? Not quite, so he also has to manually walk to the mini boss before killing it. That's not too much of a problem. And now, I guess we can take a look on the right which laser version She's is going to go for.
Yeah, and it looks like it will be a rekindle skip, so we will get to see some blind movement, and hopefully that means Cheese won't go into spikes, because by the end there are some spikes and we don't want to hit them, but it looks like he got through no problem at all. Can now use Ringo if Ringo doesn't have any problems. Also, let's pay attention to any possible phasing shots we might see. First shot is not phasing now with the double bashes. I don't think we will see a big problem. Yes, and indeed, no phasing for Cheese. Let's have a look on the left or on the side of Cleanfel. He's also opting for some blind movement here, deactivating the lasers for later, and also gets out at the same position that Cheese did, so fairly similar routings there from both runners. Now needs to get Ringo into similar positions. I'm not too sure how familiar Clean is with double bashes, and indeed it looks like he will go for the safer route without double bashes. Has a bit more setup to it, but I'm sure he can manage, and indeed gets through no problem. Ringo absolutely not phasing here, as Cheese has collected Stomp Tree on the right. For now, just our ability to move a bit faster downwards, but will be important later on once we get Charge Dash and all the crazy stuff starts happening.
Indeed. Yeah, no problems on Swamp Entry here on both sides. Always nice to see. Swamp Entry can be a bit of a mean trick and a good way to lose a bunch of time, especially when your frog doesn't want to behave or your hands shake a bit and you mess up a bash angle and throw your frog into poison water, because even though it is an amphibian, it sure can't swim, no matter if the water is poisonous or not. But Cheat showing why Ringo is called Ringo and getting this ability cell here on the right. Very nicely done. Now let's see if we're going to see anything setting up for a cutscene skip here. That's 19 seconds, and that's 19 seconds gained. Very nicely done here from Cheese. It's not quite over yet. Let's see which spider stick variant we are going to get. Cheese has been very up on those double bashes, but the fact that there was no save there, yeah, that tells me we're not gonna see spider stick double bashes, because that's an instant death pit. And if you drop a double bash, you sure don't wanna be back at Storm Tree. So now Cheese will rekindle skip that before getting to Charge Flame. And Charge Flame's only use in this category basically is, yeah, it allows us to skill Air Dash and Charge Dash. That's kind of important. Now let's see on the left, Clean also getting his Kuro cutscene skip and landing on a bit of a bounce pad there. So that's another second also gone, because he has to fall back down. But still, 19 second save can also head over into Charge Flame area. Now getting to the spider seg, not quite the best spider shot position here. We'll have to do some extra wall jumping before also opting for his rekindle skip. Speaking of skips, she's skipping the cutscene on the right, getting very far in with his dash glide, very nice, and also opting to Steve Flame this wall, so I guess Cheese will actually use the skill once during the run. Nice use for Steve Flame. It is technically faster than stomping, because you don't have to stop and your energy is right back here. So with this, it is now time for the run to really pick up pace, because what is coming up is Stompless and then Sorrow Bash.
Yes, Stumpless, of course, being another sequence break, but the bigger sequence break will definitely be Sorrow Bash. We have both runners just collecting resources up until that point, because we want to get that skill called Charge Dash, where we just can get into near enemies even faster. And if we cancel it with a jump, we get a rocket jump, and rocket jumps are super powerful. And charge dashes in general just speed up the entire game. They can be cancelled with stomp and everything, but for now, let's see if that angle for the fast stompless is correct, and if Cheese gets the cell. Gets the cell, and the angle was correct. The stuff deloaded for the shot to hit the rocks, so now Kuro is gone, and we can collect the one not tree skill of the run besides Sign, which is this feather just gliding to us. And yeah, we will skip the next area and the next dungeon and go straight into Sorrow with some very precise bashes and other movement options.
Yes, this is where you cross up your eyes because we are going to need to see both screens at the same time. Clean setting up his Stompless as She's is setting up for Sorrow Bash both at the same time. This is where a double bash comes up for Cheese to manipulate this bird and Clean raises the rocks. Alright, rocks fall on Clean side. Great. Cheese also gets through Sorrow Bash. Look at that. Simultaneous. Nice trick execution here on both sides. Now it is not over in Sorrow. Rocket jumping off this frog to bait the projectile and skip the entire left half of Sorrow before then catapulting ourselves up to the ceiling, grabbing some extra XP on the way for later and heading through Dorito Caverns here. Alright, that is 4 keystones put in. Ghost door done. A bit of a trouble with the safe not wanting to place down. It's another second or so. Whatever. We have charge jump now. Let's look on the left. Another Sorrow Bash. Clean going for the other version with a safety save here on the left. Can definitely see why you would wanna do that. Sorrow Bash is very punishing. Also, since he does not do double bashing, that is 2 birds and nice bird manipulation here. C-dash up to the bird after throwing it. Nicely done from Clean. I would love to talk more about his Sorrow, but on the right we have Terra Break coming up. Back to the ceiling, placing his save down, taking a charge jump through the death animation and gets good laser cycles as well. Alright, I think we can take a bit of a breather here as Cheese is coming up on his Sunstone and Clean is coming up on his charge jump before we will then go into a very, very hectic Misty.
Yeah, Sandstone. Fortunately for our runners, unfortunately for our voices, maybe we will not see the Sandstone cutscene because we still have ability points to spend. And this cutscene is, I believe, in the realms of 80 seconds. Don't quote me on that exactly, but it is a very long cutscene. It takes forever, so we of course gonna skip that before Cheese is dropping all the way back down and head into Misty. And remember, we got that charge jump heavily out of sequence, so that will allow us to go through some areas a lot quicker. And on the left, Clean's save does not seem to be in the right position, does have a bit of trouble breaking that ceiling. That is. Oh, we'll have to load a backup save, and his backup save seems to be all the way at Sorrow Bash or even at Feather, so. Oh, okay, he got a backup save that is not too bad, and can now put another try at this as Cheese is now into Misty, using rocket jumps to get height and dashing and charge dashing and canceling the charge dashes with bashes all the way through Misty, so he will not use up his energy on those charge dashes, as it seemed like Clean still has some trouble with the position, might not be fully confident with that. But yeah, that just means that Cheese's advantage is growing right now. He is almost at the climb tree, which will be his second to last tree before he just needs to go back into Blackroot Burrows and continue and then finish the game out. And it looks like now Clean has finally found the right position, is floating up to Sunstone, can also skip that cutscene and or maybe not.
If we look at where his backup was, sadly, he does not have any more ability points left, and he is more than 200 away from level up, so he can't even just take Sunstone Plant. Hey, I heard you guys like lore, right? Because that's exactly what we are getting here. This is, Clean gets a bit of a hand and coffee break, because we are going to be sitting here for a while. So while we watch this nice, beautiful, friendly cutscene, let's take a look over to Misty on the right side for Cheese, dropping down through the spikes and now into the later parts. Oh, barely hits the spikes there. Good thing we are doing 4 HP and not 3 HP, otherwise we would be back at the climb tree. Now safety save here puts us back to 3, but that's not enough to take a hit, so still gonna need to be careful positioning the slime here to get a rocket jump all the way up through the meatballs now. Positioning this Frankie here, not spending energy, nicely done with that extra bash, getting more energy on the crystal here, probably to place down the safety save. Yes, indeed. And now let's see if we're gonna see a mini boss. Yeah, we actually see one jump here, and then a second one mini boss killed per jump. Not the bang zoom we know, where we don't even get to see them, but at this point Cheese is kinda so far ahead he can opt to take as many safe strats as he wants to here. Now into this misty exit, gonna head over to Grenade Tree, and on the left side Clean is now finally done watching lore. Hopefully the last one. Don't wanna also watch a Grenade Tree cutscene, which wouldn't be another 70 seconds. But yeah, Meteor kicks down into Misty, and now we get some nice movement on his side.
Yeah, Cheese, in the meantime, is teleporting back to the start of the area. BRB, of course, with the second skill, Grenade, which, just like Charge Flame, we don't really use. We just use it for the grenade jumps, but these are important as they save like 40 seconds off of the final cutscene, as well as some miscellaneous seconds throughout the way to Mount Horu. But Cleanfel is going through. Oh, takes some damage, but seems to be fine for now. Is almost halfway through. Just needs to get to the climb tree in a safe manner, as Cheese is skipping some more lore. If you want to learn about Nibel and what happened, definitely don't speedrun. But we get to our last tree right here, on Grenade Tree, and it looks like Cheese is definitely heading for a decent time with this run. Both runners, of course, showing off greatly. I don't think Clean can PB off of this anymore, unfortunately for him, but he has also now reached the climb tree, so that setback is at least it's only a setback and not a complete throw on the run.
Indeed, we can still finish up the run, and I'm sure Clean is going to do just that here in the second half of Misty, even though that hurt into the spikes, but still, we're fine, we're on 4 HP, we can afford this. Now, Cheese on the right has gone through BRB, gotten his 5th health cell. There is the option to take a 6th if he wants to for extra safety on the way to the final escape, but otherwise he can also just opt to go right now. That's one uncancelled C dash here that probably wasn't supposed to be there, so being 1 energy lower than usual, grabbing some extra energy on the crystal here. Now dashing over into Horu Fields, takes a bit of damage here, takes 2 damage, so Warm Skip kinda off the table unless he has enough energy to heal back up before. Let's see, over the elemental room now to the Fronky, to the Baneling, not opting to go for any Horu Fields G-jumps here, instead spending all his energy on dashing over to the Horror Door. Yep, that's definitely not gonna be a warm skip, we would need that otherwise, and this is where we start counting. Remember your bets from the start of the run, because half of them will come up now. Waiting for the autosave, reloading, and pressing up on the first frame. Indeed, that is first try for Cheese, so 1 on his side. If you were waiting for a world record or other high numbers, no, please don't bet for it. Clean deserves a first try too after that hiccup and sorrow. But here we go, Kuro swooping down. Let's see how Cheese closes out his run.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of time. Even can take a death or two if the game decides to just throw a rock at you, as Clean is just making his way out of Misty, is going towards the teleporter to also head back into Blackroot Burrows. But on Cheese's side, first room down, second room down, third room down, just needs to go through the S, take a bit of a swim and go through the last room. So let's see, gets into the water, just can take 4 damage ticks, otherwise we will die, unfortunately. Luckily avoids Kuro right here, needs to bash to the left to not self-block, aims his grenade jump, doesn't get it first try, does seem to still have energy for a second try, and gets it. That's 40 seconds off, and GG to him.
Indeed. Yeah, that is definitely a victory in this particular restream matchup here for Cheese. Gets his grenade jump, saves a bunch of time, still has the potential to get a total of third place here, I think, in the weekly overall, as long as no one snipes him on the Naru walk or Naru hops. Let's see what we're getting here. She's now obviously starting to hold right. Yeah, no hops, just some good old walking and finishing with a 31:27 official race time, 31:30 here. GG indeed. So as Cheese is now a bit calmer and can just happily watch Ori and Naru reunited or something similar. Let's take a look over to Clean. Nice grenade jump there out of the grenade area, getting some extra speed done. Sadly, he has to wait on the laser cycle, but not too bad overall. Now over into the boulder area. No grenade jump here. Fair enough. Now hopping over, getting his fifth health cell, and then into Horror Fields. Question is the same. Are we gonna see a sixth health cell, or are we gonna stay on five? Gonna figure that out any moment once we're actually in Horror Fields. For now, it is just some fast movement over to the left, and then hopefully a very clean final escape. And I would like to win my bet, so hopefully also first right over.
Yeah, I definitely also bet on that. Doesn't seem like we get a sixth health cell, as you mentioned, so has to be careful in the swim as well. But I'm sure with Clean's expertise, that will be no problem. The water, unfortunately, this time is not clean for him. Tries to set up for this for this grenade jump before heading to door warp, as Cheese on the right can just enjoy some light, and in his prologue as let's have the eyes on the left and see and hope for that first try door warp. Clean, I believe in you. You can do it. Okay, first frame press. Oh, does that count? I'm not sure if that counts. Okay, now it's not first try anymore. Definitely. Oh, also not second.
Yeah, that is being a bit rough here. Was that the third try in total, or was
Well,
that
it depends if you
fourth?
count the first one, I guess.
We're
So
counting
third or
every
fourth
reload.
try.
We're counting every reload, so we're at a total of 5. I don't think anyone bet that, so sad for you. No virtual internet points here. But now into the final escape. Clean. Let's see what he is doing for us. Ankens at C dash here. Another one through the meteor room now into the lanterns. Laser cycle looking very good. Can now hop over into the elemental room, taking a bit of a stall here before hopping over to the right. Now S-band it is, and we cannot go as fast as we want to because fish cycles are super important, and that was 3 damage on the first one even, I think, but we're getting through. Alright, just one thing left, which is bashing to the left, very important here, and now setting up for that final grenade jump. Doesn't quite get the first one, also not the second one, but these are fine. These refund the energy. Now gets it on the fourth attempt, and with that, Clean also is out and is gonna finish with a 35 something here.
Yeah, GG to him as well. Had to watch that one cutscene. Fortunately for him, he didn't have to watch the cutscene in Grenade Tree as well. But looks like he is done. And GG to him. We will see. It looks like he will finish in 5th place overall in this race, unless he also gets sniped by, or he might get sniped by someone else. And no narrow hops from him either, so GG to him as well.
Indeed, GG to both of our runners. Let's kind of ask them if any of them wanna come for a chat. I already see both of them on deck here, so let's drag both in. And first of all, GG's to both of you.
Yeah,
Thank
GG.
you. Thank you.
All right.
That's my best race I've done in 3 years. It happened to be the first time I've been restreamed.
That
Oh.
was great for that. Like, you'd put on a great performance, and your time definitely also reflects that.
Yes, thank you. I don't think I well, I can't recall screwing up anything majorly, which is, yeah, it's just easily the best run I've done, which is really good. All I need to do is repeat that 6 times in a row for the tournament, and I'll be sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
see,
consistency is key. Just a few things here and there, but yeah, really, I think you got every major thing first try here. So very nicely done, Cheese.
Yes, except the one thing that I'm meant to be good at, which is Grotto Skip. I was pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Clean also didn't get it, so it didn't lose you time compared to Clean, but of course it's also always like a bit of a slap in your face when the Crusher just comes down right as you are at it. Like, that's just not gonna feel good.
that's just always been a finicky trick to me. I need to really put in a lot of practice on actually understand how that works. For my
Well,
side.
it's just feeling for me. I don't know. I just seem to get it all the time, except for when the pressure's on. Apparently, everything else
Ah,
normally horrible.
speaking of things going a bit more wrongly than usual, Clean, that Terra break, huh?
Yeah, it was a tactical break. I decided to just relax for a bit and watch some Sunstone War while I took a sip of water. Oh man, that one's been giving me trouble recently. I really, maybe I let go of glide too early. I really thought that was a good position. Oh well, it was fun. It was fun. Funny at least, maybe for the the stream.
I really love the save drop on the backup reload, by the way, to get back below the
Yeah, I was like, oh,
below the platform.
where
That was interesting.
I'm like, oh, that's where it put me. And thank goodness I made a backup save right at the right time, so I wouldn't have to go all the way back to Valley.
Oh yeah, that would have really hurt. Yeah, from what I can tell and from what chat could tell, maybe a bit too left on the safe position there. We were all not quite sure. It looked kind of good, but didn't work. So, I don't know. But let's go back to the more happy things here. Geez, how you feeling overall for that? So a lot of this has looked very smooth, going for the death glide in the tournament, in the restreamed race without any problems, getting no face proc shots, door warp working out. Overall, happy with this run?
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't ask for much better. There's literally just Grotto Skip, I think. Other than my mouse did die instantly, like about 1 minute into the run, because my scroll wheel. I have 2 mice, luckily, because recently, while I've been relearning, I've got the wireless G502, and the scroll wheel just screws up sometimes, and like when I scroll it doesn't work, and then randomly, you probably saw it, I was just like killing everything. I wasn't even touching the scroll wheel, it was just doing its own thing. I have no idea what's wrong with it, but I have my second wired mouse plugged in case it happens. So like I went to scroll for the very first Frankie 1 minute in, and it didn't work, and I'm like, oh no, it's happening at the worst possible time. And then it just went haywire, and I completely screwed up my entire wall jump split. But luckily, I had it plugged in and swapped it out, and it was reasonably smooth afterwards. But I really need to probably need to buy a new mouse, I think.
I love that
that's
a tactical backup.
That explains what we saw with the Frankie fight at the start. Yeah, was wondering why it took a bit longer, but that explains everything. You are more than excused by Adria dying. Tuka, got any questions for Clean, maybe?
Yeah, I have one question for Clean indeed. We saw you win the Blind Forest Rando tournament, and you kind of went into the Will of the Wisp Rando tournament with a more relaxed mindset, maybe. What is maybe your thinking about the All Skills tournament? Will you give it your all? How have you prepared? What is your plan for this?
If I have to hear the word tournament one more time. This one is going to be a lot of fun. I still know there is a lot. I think just playing the randomizer for 5 months straight has cleaned up a lot. I've already, since returning 3 weeks ago, I've already gotten saved time by at least 2 minutes. And I know there's still a lot more that can be done. So I'm really hoping to put on something nice when the qualifiers come around, make maybe a low 31 to 30. That would be a really cool goal of mine. Because I definitely know it's just there. I need the muscle memory for the movement's there. I just need to bring it out. So I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah,
yeah,
looking
we will.
forward to see how that will go in the tournament for you, Clean. Definitely gonna be able to put on a good showing here, I think. And similar question to you, she's a tournament starting next week. What are kind of your goals for that one? Any placements you wanna get, or you're just looking to have some fun, or where are you standing with that?
I think the main reason is just having fun. I was quite try hard in 2019 when I just lost to Trojan, but it's I think that's going to be the peak of my speedrunning career. It's just fun. I'm just glad this has happened because like, I hadn't run Ori in 2 or 3 years or whatever it was, and it's motivated me to relearn it, and it's been real fun. Just not being as serious, not having to reset in glades every 3 seconds, just being able to do a few full runs every week and enjoying some races. So if I can get top 16, I'll be happy with that. I don't think I'll be trying for quarterfinals, but we'll see what happens. I do still need to learn how to kill the Misty boss though, because I've done about 15 runs, but I've never got around to relearning how to kill it. So I'm just doing like the casual charge flame and charge jump. So that's all I got to do, and then just have fun.
Yeah, that does definitely think a goal a lot of the people have, and I personally have for enjoying the tournament. So definitely very excited to see you running. But with that, do you have any more questions, Xem, or we good to go?
Let's think. No, I think that's about sums it up for this race, at least for me.
Yeah, then, just a reminder that the sign-ups will be closing soon. So if you have a time and you want to join the tournament and join in on the fun, be sure to submit that. Every info will be is down under the stream, I believe. So you should be able to find that. But with that, I think the next Ori thing coming up is tomorrow at 2 p.m. UTC, a Will of the Wisps randomizer race. And after that, the next Blind Forest action will be the first qualifier of the upcoming All Skills tournament on the 25th at 5 p.m. UTC. So be sure to check both of these out. But that's it for today. I have been 2Kill, joined by Xemsis on commentary. We had Lion feed us some information on stats, and we had Koala on the restream and Rin on the Shadow restream, and Cheese and Clean putting on a great show. But that's it for tonight. So bye bye and have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye.
Oh, he's not going for it. This guy's going man mode.
Look at my goodness. Wow.
Oh, can he make it? He did.
Oh, he's got it.
Poor cheese. Oh, monkey's Monkey's burned. Spot. Oh, monkey's going. Richard. Oh, he died. Dead. Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well. What? Richard is in the final escape.